The unexpected kindness of my neighbor caught me off guard. You won't believe what unfolded. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up, share your insights in the comments, and subscribe to keep up with our newest narratives. On a Tuesday morning, the atmosphere was draped in gray skies and a gentle drizzle, evoking a desire to linger in bed, cradling a warm cup of tea while losing oneself in the pages of a captivating book. At the age of 52, I found myself residing in a quaint little house on Maplewood Lane, a street where familiarity reigned among the neighbors, yet true connection remained elusive. If that makes sense, we waved, exchanged pleasantries, and now and then borrowed a cup of sugar, but that was the extent of our interactions. Life unfolded in a predictable rhythm, wrapped in comfort, yet if I were to speak candidly, it carried a tinge of solitude. On that particular morning, I found myself seated at my kitchen table, gazing out at the garden, drenched by the relentless rain. The hydrangeas unfurled their vibrant blue petals, weighed down by the droplets of water, while the oak tree in the backyard danced softly in the whispering breeze. Engrossed in my musings, I cradled a warm cup of chamomile tea, when suddenly, a knock echoed through the stillness of the room. At that moment, I found myself taken by surprise, unprepared for the arrival of anyone. MY's son Andrew was engrossed in his own life in the city, while my friends found themselves occupied with their families or careers. After a brief pause, I placed my cup aside and made my way to the door. To my astonishment, as I opened the door, I found my neighbor, Mr. Whitman, standing before me. He stood tall, a figure in his late 60s, adorned with silver hair and eyes that radiated kindness. He lived just 2 doors down, and over the years, we had exchanged a few words here and there, but nothing beyond that. In his hands, he cradled a small, wrapped package, his demeanor tinged with an unusual nervousness. "Good morning, Claire," he greeted, his voice imbued with warmth yet tinged with uncertainty. "I trust I'm not intruding upon your peace." "Not in the slightest," I responded, a smile gracing my lips. "How may I assist you today, Mr. Whitman?" "Please call me James," he said, a smile returning to his face. "I couldn't help but observe that you've been spending quite a bit of time in your garden recently. Your talent for nurturing plants is truly impressive." A soft laugh escaped my lips. "Indeed, it occupies my time quite effectively. It brings me a sense of tranquility." He inclined his head slightly, then extended the package towards her. "During my visit to the farmer's market this past weekend, you crossed my mind. It's a small gesture, merely a token to add a touch of light to your day." I found myself utterly astonished. It had been years since anyone had bestowed upon me a gift of such significance. As I grasped the package, I could sense its weight resting in my palms. "I appreciate it, James. Your kindness is truly appreciated." He shuffled his feet, an air of shyness enveloping him. "Very well, I shall allow you to return to your morning activities. Wishing you a wonderful day, Claire." I echoed the sentiment, my gaze following him as he turned and made his way back down the path toward the sidewalk. I gently shut the door behind me and carefully peeled away the layers of the package. Within lay a stunning ceramic planter, adorned with intricate flowers and winding vines. It was precisely the sort of thing I would have chosen for myself. As I glided my fingers across the sleek surface, a peculiar blend of emotions washed over me: gratitude, curiosity, and an elusive sensation that I struggled to define. As the afternoon wore on, I resolved to plant a delicate fern in the planter and set it upon my porch. While I toiled, my gaze drifted down the street. Drawn to James's house, I came to the realization that my knowledge of him was rather limited. All I truly knew was that he was a widower and had resided on Maplewood Lane for as long as I had. The following day, I prepared a delightful batch of oatmeal cookies, following my grandmother's cherished recipe, and made my way to James's house. Upon opening the door, his expression revealed a blend of surprise and delight. "Your gesture was unnecessary, yet I am truly grateful for it. Would you care to join me for a cup of coffee?" After a brief pause, I gave a nod of agreement. I would find that quite agreeable. The house exuded warmth and charm, its walls adorned with bookshelves and a cozy fireplace crackling in the living room. At his kitchen table, we lingered over steaming cups of coffee, engaging in a delightful exchange that meandered through topics like gardening, travel, and the literary treasures we cherished most. To my astonishment, the ease of our conversation was remarkable, and I found myself at ease in his company. As I strolled home that evening, it dawned on me just how deeply I had longed for this kind of connection. It transcended mere gifts or cookies. It was how James had paused to truly observe me, to recognize me as more than merely the woman residing 2 doors away. That night, as I reclined in bed, my mind wandered to the unforeseen generosity of my neighbor and the profound impact it had on me, stirring emotions I had not anticipated. A seemingly minor act, yet it had unlocked a gateway to an unfamiliar realm, a realm I had not known I was yearning for. The days that ensued after James's unforeseen present carried an air of distinction, as if the universe had subtly adjusted, unveiling hues I had previously overlooked. The rain subsided and the sun emerged, bathing Maplewood Lane in a warm, golden light. The garden appeared to awaken to the transformation, with flowers radiating vibrant hues and leaves displaying a lush, verdant brilliance. Perhaps it was merely my perception, viewing the world through a fresh perspective. James occupied my thoughts with increasing frequency. The dialogue we shared over coffee flowed effortlessly, a seamless exchange that felt entirely organic. The conversation extended beyond mere subjects we explored. It was in the manner of his listening, a deep engagement that suggested every word I uttered held significance. It dawned on me just how deeply I had longed for that type of connection until it materialized before my eyes. A few days later, while tending to the roses in the garden, I caught the sound of footsteps approaching on the sidewalk. As I lifted my gaze, I spotted James approaching, his hands tucked casually into his pockets, a smile illuminating his features. "Good morning, Claire," he said, pausing at the boundary of my yard. "The beauty of those roses is truly breathtaking. Your talent is truly remarkable." I cleaned my hands on my apron and returned the smile. "My sincere gratitude, James. They are my greatest treasure. Would you care to step inside for a more intimate examination?" He nodded, and I guided him through the gate, highlighting the various shades, the rich reds, the gentle pinks, the velvety whites. He absorbed every word, posing inquiries and marveling at the blossoms. After a pause, he remarked, "I've always dreamed of cultivating a garden like this, yet I've never possessed the patience for it." Her dedication was truly admirable. "It's easier than it appears," I responded. "All it requires is a touch of patience and a sprinkle of affection." He let out a soft chuckle. "Perhaps you could impart some wisdom to me." After a brief pause, I replied, "I would be delighted to. How about you swing by tomorrow morning so we can kick things off?" His eyes sparkled with excitement. "I would find that quite agreeable. Thank you, Claire." The following morning, James made his entrance precisely on schedule, clad in a worn pair of jeans and a cozy flannel shirt. I presented him with a pair of gardening gloves, guiding him through the process of preparing the soil for planting. We toiled together, sharing laughter and conversation as we unearthed the soil, nestled seeds, and quenched their thirst. To my surprise, it turned out to be quite enjoyable, and I discovered that I relished his company far more than I had anticipated. As the days morphed into weeks, our gardening sessions blossomed into a cherished routine. In the early hours, we would gather, occasionally at my place, other times at his, and tackle whatever tasks awaited us. It transcended the mere presence of plants. It was about the dialogues exchanged, the moments we cherished together, and the deepening bond that flourished between us. One afternoon, after we had completed the task of planting a row of tulips in his backyard, James proposed that we take a moment to relax and settle onto the porch. He presented a pitcher of iced tea, and we settled into the cool shade, savoring our drinks while observing the birds dance through the yard. After a pause, he remarked, "I've resided on this street for more than 2 decades, yet I've never truly acquainted myself with my neighbors. It seems I've always found myself on the fringes, a solitary figure in a world bustling with connection." I nodded, fully grasping the essence of his words. "I understand your perspective. One can easily become ensnared in the confines of their own existence, overlooking the presence of those who dwell just next door. He regarded me with a contemplative expression. "It brings me joy to see you settled in, Claire. This space has been transformed into a sanctuary once more." His words resonated within me, stirring emotions that coalesced into a lump in my throat. "I appreciate it, James. That holds significant value." We lingered in a tranquil hush, the sort of serene quietude that requires no embellishment of speech. The sun caressed my face with its warmth, while a gentle breeze whispered through the air, and in that moment, I experienced a profound sense of tranquility that had eluded me for far too long. As the weeks unfolded, a bond between James and me deepened. Our exchanges blossomed into something beyond mere gardening advice. We exchanged narratives of our existence, our kin, our aspirations. I discovered that he had once been a teacher before his retirement, that he cherished jazz music, and that he held a fondness for classic films. He shared with me the story of his late wife, Catherine, and the profound emptiness her absence left in his life. As we sat on my porch, the sun dipping below the horizon, he spoke softly. "She was the love of my life." Never did I imagine I would encounter someone capable of evoking such feelings within me once more. I gazed at him, my heart heavy with the sorrow woven into his words. "I comprehend. Experiencing the loss of a cherished one is profoundly challenging." He nodded, his gaze wandering into the distance. "Yet, I believe she would find joy in witnessing me in this light, sharing moments with someone who brings a smile to my face." His words lingered in my mind long after he had departed that evening. I reclined in bed, my gaze fixed on the ceiling, reflecting on James and the surprising bond we had forged. It was an unforeseen twist in my journey, yet it had woven itself into the very fabric of my existence. As I surrendered to the embrace of slumber, a curious thought lingered in my mind. Where would this journey lead us next? Life certainly has its methods of putting us to the test. Wouldn't you agree? Just as you believe you've established your balance, an unexpected force arrives to disrupt the calm. For James and me, that something took the form of a storm, a formidable one. As September waned, an unexpected warmth lingered in the air, defying the seasonal norms. The trees began to don their autumn attire, transforming the neighborhood into a canvas of gold and crimson hues. James and I found ourselves increasingly entwined in each other's lives, not only tending to the garden but also savoring meals, enjoying films, and embarking on a few-day trips to charming nearby towns. It seemed as though we were crafting something extraordinary, something genuine. Yet, the tempest approached with a fierce intensity. It began as a faint echo of thunder, a shadowy band of clouds stretching across the skyline. As dusk settled in, the wind began to howl, and the rain cascaded from the heavens in torrents. I found myself at the window of my living room, observing the trees dance in the wind while the rain relentlessly hammered against the glass. The power flickered, a hesitant dance of light, before succumbing to the inevitable, casting the house into an enveloping darkness. I searched for a flashlight, my fingers brushing against its cool surface, and ignited a few candles, striving to create a semblance of warmth in the dimness. Yet, as the tempest howled outside, an unsettling sensation took root in my chest, refusing to be ignored. At that moment, I became aware of it. A thunderous crash echoed, succeeded by the sharp sound of wood splintering. My heart soared into my throat. I snatched my raincoat and flashlight, dashing into the tempest, the wind tugging at my hair while the rain drenched me in mere moments. Drawn by the sound, I made my way to James's house, where the origin of the noise revealed itself to me. The colossal oak tree in his backyard had been struck by lightning, toppling and crashing through a section of his roof. My stomach plummeted. "James," I called out, hurrying toward his front door. I struck it with fervor, my heart pounding in my chest. "James, are you all right?" The door creaked open, revealing him, shaken yet unscathed. "Claire," he said, his voice strained with concern. "I'm doing well, but the tree has breached the roof." As I entered, I cast my flashlight's beam across the surroundings. The extent of the damage exceeded my expectations. The tree had burst through the corner of the living room, scattering debris in every direction. The rain cascaded through the breach in the roof, drenching the carpet and saturating the furniture with its relentless downpour. "We must get you out of here," I urged, clutching his arm tightly. "Safety is compromised." He paused, surveying the chaos that surrounded him. Yet my dwelling. As the day drew to a close, after hours spent clearing away remnants of chaos and sifting through the remnants of our lives, James and I found ourselves on my porch, gazing at the sunset that painted the sky above Maplewood Lane. The sky erupted in a symphony of colors, with pinks, oranges, and purples intertwining in a breathtaking display. "You know what James said," he remarked, shattering the stillness that enveloped them. "I've been reflecting deeply on your words from the other night, about the idea of navigating this journey side by side." I glanced at him, my heart racing, as he inhaled deeply, his face a blend of seriousness and hope. "I refuse to squander any more time, Claire. Life is fleeting, and I have already devoted too much of it to solitude. I long to be by your side, should you choose to welcome me." Tears gathered in my eyes, and I fought to blink them back, determined not to let a single moment slip away from me. "James, I share your sentiments. For what feels like an eternity, solitude has been my companion, and it wasn't until you graced my existence that I truly understood the depth of my longing for someone like you." He extended his hand towards mine, his grasp enveloping me with warmth and assurance. "Let us embark on this journey. Let us craft a life side by side, in whatever form it may take." I nodded, enveloped in a tranquility and joy that had eluded me for years. I in unison. The ensuing weeks unfolded like a tempest, filled with a cacophony of emotions and choices to be made. James's house had been mended, yet he found himself increasingly drawn to my place, until it seemed as though we were already sharing a life together. We engaged in a conversation about what lies ahead, envisioning the intertwining of our lives, dreaming of adventures, and contemplating the beauty of aging side by side. It was a whirlwind of emotions, a blend of exhilaration, fear, and sheer wonder, all converging in a single moment. On a brisk October morning, we chose to stroll through the neighborhood, savoring the vibrant fall hues and the refreshing, cool air as we walked side by side. A profound sense of fulfillment washed over me, as if I had at last discovered my rightful place in the universe. "You know," James remarked as we strolled by a striking maple tree, its leaves ablaze in fiery red, "I believe Catherine would have taken a liking to you." My gaze fell upon him, a wave of astonishment washing over me. I asked, "That's so?" He nodded, his gaze gentle with reminiscence. "She often remarked that I required a partner who could challenge me, someone possessing both a compassionate heart and an indomitable spirit." "Indeed, that is you, Claire." Tears welled up in my eyes once more, yet this time I made no effort to brush them aside. "I appreciate it, James. That holds greater significance for me than you can imagine." He halted his steps and pivoted to meet my gaze, enveloping my hands within his own. "Claire, while we may not be in our youth, I believe there are many wonderful years still to come, and I wish to share each and every one with you." I smiled amidst my tears, experiencing a joy so deep it bordered on pain. "I desire that as well, James, more than anything else in the world." He leaned in and kissed me then, a gentle, tender kiss that felt like a promise. In that moment, enveloped by the beauty of the season and the warmth of his love, I realized that this was merely the beginning of something extraordinary. As we strolled onward, the sun casting its warm glow upon us and the leaves crackling underfoot, a profound sense of gratitude washed over me for James, for the life we were crafting side by side, and for the serendipitous kindness that had led us to this very moment. Life presented us with unexpected challenges, yet we navigated through the turmoil and emerged more resilient than before. As I gazed into the horizon of what is to come, I felt a profound certainty that no matter the obstacles that may arise, we would confront them side by side. For it is often in the most unexpected moments that life reveals its most exquisite treasures.